Nothing happening in winning a primary, taking a blue district to cobalt blue, flips a red to blue. When we had Nancy Pelosi become Speaker in '06, passed the minimum wage. There's a direct line from electoral victory to policy changes. Because we won the House in '06 and added gains seats in '08, President Obama had the majorities to both pass universal health care and financial and regulatory reform. So to me, anything that distracts from flipping red to blue, now maybe some people think the party is the problem. I happen to think Donald Trump and the rubber stamp Republicans are the problem. And maybe we just have two different objectives, which I think. Now to the rigged system, which I 100% agree, come to Chicago. See 20,000 kids that got free community college. Come to Chicago and see what universal pre-K for 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds, both kindergarten and pre-K, are getting, learning their letters, their numbers, and their colors. Come to Chicago where we raised the minimum wage and 7 consecutive years, #1 city for corporate relocation, progressive growth. So to me, the problem is a lot of people in Washington who just basically are hot air versus what real change is. Now, we actually in Chicago got a free college, not talked about it. Raise the minimum wage, not talk about it. Give kids 4 and 5 universal pre-K and kindergarten. I believe in winning elections that give you the power to get the policy changes you want. Now, I happen to think blue to cobalt blue doesn't do anything. Look, nothing.
And we are back. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. Of course, it's 9:16. We're up live on Facebook. Be sure to like the WVON page. Interact with me. I'll be sure to talk back with you. If you would like to keep up with me exclusively, be sure to follow me across all social media platforms at Follow Cleopatra. And be sure to subscribe to my new YouTube channel. That's right. Check me out there at the Cleopatra Show. And you heard it. That was former Mayor Rahm Emanuel. And some often refer to him as former congressman, right? Depending on how you know him. But I'm here to ask you on a Turbulent Tuesday, what Chicago he referring to? He has been globetrotting, literally, just getting back from Tel Aviv. Where in the hell is Rahm Emanuel? I keep up with him. I find him to be very, very intriguing in a sense of how he sells Chicago. Universal pre-K. I meet mothers, fathers all the time. And in fact, I myself am a part of the Hunger Games he created. Hunger Games. Same man that closed 50 schools and black and brown community. Every year, like he talking about 7 years, while he was in his administration, I was working in Chicago Public Schools. Every year, you know the gift he gave us as CPS? You better find you a job every year. And every year, you better hope your school bring you back. That was the gift that kept on giving with Rahm. I want to hear from you. 773-591-1690. He not hiding it. Okay, I thought about playing this new interview that he just did for Political. And I may play a couple clips. But Rahm Emanuel for president 2028. Chicago. You know something about it. Had he not resigned, many of you Negroes would have sent him right back. 16 shots in a cover-up is what took him under. But he left no man on the field. I know something about that politically. $50,000 were gifted to 8 aldermen, particularly black alders. My incumbent was one. See, it's interchangeable. Sometimes I might say the alderman. Sometimes I might say incumbent because it's always going to be a challenge as long as I live there. That is just the sentiment. And many of them that received that $50,000 gift are still in office to this day. Now, here he is on a global platform selling Chicago. Is it true? Or is it the Chicago he know about? Because there are a tale of two cities in this wonderful 77 community mechanism we call Chicago. And here it is, the audacity. He rose to become ambassador to Japan. He's being attributed to being the architect and the design of the Democratic Party in the past 20 years. And they can care less about a Laquan McDonald. But Chicago, Black America, I'm asking, do you care? Because had he been, like his brother name is Ezekiel, had he been a Malachi Emanuel, dead in the street, 16 times shot, you wouldn't shoot a dog 16 times. Grew up in a little Jewish community, went to a Jewish school. Would he have rose to be so powerful? He wouldn't have a fighting chance. So I present this to you because there are a lot of conversations as everybody is rubbing elbows and positioning themselves and the vulnerability of the Democratic Party. I covered this briefly yesterday, but I promised I was going to bring it today. Buckle up, Buttercup. I'm talking about Rahm Emanuel. He wants to be the president of these United States, and he is globe-trotting around the world selling Chicago. And if you remember something, give me a call. 773-591-1690. After he departed, after 16 shots in a cover-up, he rose to even more power. How is that possible? Is it because the victim was black? Is it because the victim was a young black boy, 18 years young? Is that possible? I need to hear from you all. 50 school closure, the most in American history. And he's bragging about what he did for our children in Chicago. And I myself am a part of the Hunger Games that he's gifted Chicago. Give me a call. We'll be back.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
Shop small with Wintrust Bank and celebrate the heart of our community, our local businesses. Listen as we share a list of small businesses throughout our community that we can shop, dine, and support throughout the year. These businesses are the economic engine that drives our neighborhoods. Wintrust knows that. That's why they're Chicago's bank and why they're encouraging you to shop local. Keep listening for the Wintrust Community Business Spotlight campaign. With Wintrust, shopping small is a big deal.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Finally, travel times are coming down along the Ryan, a 26-minute trip from 95th Street into downtown. Outbound things are moving well. If you're on the Bishop Ford and Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, things are moving there well as well. DuSable Lakeshore Drive still, though, about a 16-minute trip from 67th Street to Jackson, Hollywood to Monroe down to 16. The Stevenson, a big improvement. You're down to 40 minutes from I-355 to DuSable Drive, 40 traveling out. An improvement along the Eisenhower, but still heavy at 55 minutes from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. Outbound trip will take you 50. And is heavy on the inbound Kennedy. A slow-moving 50-minute trip in from O'Hare to downtown. Getting to the airport down to 30 minutes. Taking a look at our weather, we're just on the other end of light drizzle. Cloudy skies, misty at times. The National Weather Service says, of course, cooler today. Temperatures topping out in the upper 70s, going down to the mid-60s tonight. Right now it's 69 at Midway, 69 in Dalton, and 69 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
We ain't talking about Cali, Matt. We talking about Chicago. And if you know something about the city of Chicago, I want to hear from you. During the era of Rahm Emanuel's administration, what was it like in the city of Chicago? We just heard him testify to how great of a resume he's left our educational system from pre-K to BA, right? And I've been following some of his speeches, particularly with universal pre-K, 3 and 4, and the ability of what he's gifted the city to grow. Children learn their letters and colors and numbers. I mean, he just scooped past the historical attribute of the closing of 50 schools, the most in American history, and the devastation that it left behind. To this day, Chicago Public Schools is trying to close the gap of $734 million. But the deficit is the same as the budget. The budget is $9 billion. The deficit is $9 billion. So, bruh, help me. Unless I can't do math on a Tuesday, which is highly unlikely, I want you all to make it make sense for me. 773-591-1690. Because I'm amazed at the fact that you can rise to all of these powerful positions. I mean, the fact that we can sit back and watch folks fill up is amazing. And there's certain kind of folks that are able to. But maybe in his iteration of Chicago, all was well. Black Chicago, you let me know. Now, the conditions of the Negro in America have been a very exploited variable, one in which a number of us have settled, and then a number of us have fought, and a number of us have stood on the sidelines. But I'm asking, because he's serious. And as he's rising, I don't know what happens to your governor, but Rahm, brother, playing that Hollywood money. But your governor ain't shortchanged either. He's one of the 16 billionaires that live in this state we call home here in Illinois. I'm just asking, like, did it make the back of the hair on the back of your neck stand up? Because I be Mississippi, goddamn. This process I have endured as a parent is cruel. It is absolutely cruel. I've been on more school visits than a little bit, and the things that I've seen. And then when I ask certain questions, because I don't divulge my background, I shouldn't have to, but I'm looking for standards. I'm looking for key performance indicators. The things that I've seen in these schools ought to be shame. Ought to be shame. But this is what you bragging about? And I don't want to hear, well, when it turned over from my hand, I don't want to hear that. There's been enough cooks in the kitchen. Everybody in there had a turn in Chicago. 773-591-1690. Let me be clear. What am I asking? I'm going to tell you what I'm asking. Well, here's the question of the day. And I thought about this as I was, following this man. What's your top demand of a presidential candidate to earn your vote? The same man that is now backtracking this ironclad relationship we've had with Israel, getting back from Tel Aviv, giving a stern pointing to Netanyahu, but he is, forget in bed, he is enthralled in the covers of AIPAC. Same man that want to be your president. Come on, y'all. And I see the chat. Let me, before I take a call, I'm going to take your calls when we come back, but I see the chat. I want to say good morning to Quintella, Brother Wall, Lee. I see you all, Peggy. And yeah, Lee said, I remember 50 schools closed. Help me understand. Let's not forget the corruption of Barbara Bird Bennett. Oh, Triple B, what a threat. Forrest Claypool. I mean, you go in there. All under King Rahm Emanuel. I remember, he won't brag about that. Now, he don't say one word. I'm glad you remember that. We'll be back.
Cloudy and cooler today. Temperatures topping out in the upper 70s. Good morning. I'm Ina Flournoy, and here's what's happening. Cook County State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke wants people to know who commit crimes on CTA that they will do jail time. She wants that message to be so clear that she's kicking off a public service campaign on buses and trains. O'Neill Burke says her office has approved felony charges in 483 CTA-related crime cases since taking office 2 years ago. She also says that violent crime along the transit system is down by 30% since the first of the year. Well, today is an important day for those running for mayor of Chicago and other citywide offices. It's the first day for candidates to collect signatures for their petitions to get on the ballot. Election day is February 23rd. Starting today, you'll see campaign workers with clipboards outside grocery stores and L stops asking for your signature. Now, for candidates also running for alderman, city clerk, and city treasurer. In the mayor's race, candidates will need 12,500 signatures, only one person per signature petition. First-time candidates for mayor will likely have to have more signatures in case they meet challenges. Meanwhile, Mayor Brandon Johnson has not yet announced whether he will seek a second term. We get more on that part of the story from Perry Williams.
Mayor Brandon Johnson has not officially declared that he's running again, and he was recently questioned about that by the media.
Keep in mind, I did not make an announcement until October of 2022.
So October maybe is when you're going to make it?
I'm just saying that right now I'm focused on building safe and affordable communities, and we're going to count on the city of Chicago to help us continue to build that.
So far, 8 people have announced that they have entered the race. The election is set for February 23rd. I'm Perry Williams.
Also, Secretary of State Alexi Giannulli is expected to announce whether he'll get into the mayor's race. Public school students will now have to put away their cell phones. Later this morning, Governor Pritzker is expected to sign a statewide school cell phone ban into law. The signing is happening at Elgin High School. This new law will require all school districts and charter schools in Illinois to limit student cell phone use during the entire school day. The goal is to create a better learning environment and focus by reducing distractions. This measure passed with bipartisan support. And the word this morning is cleanup. After powerful storms swept across the area, there were sudden sheets of rain came gushing down, leaving flooded basements and high standing water throughout the city. Several areas were hit hard with high winds, leaving widespread damage. The National Weather Service is headed out this morning to assess and confirm whether actual tornadoes touched down. The Weather Service also confirmed that the wind gusts happened at up to 100 miles per hour in areas such as Orland, Tinley Park, East Hazel Crest, Glen Ellen, and Downers Grove. ComEd is also heading out this morning. WVON's Logan Page has more.
Powerful storms swept through the Chicago area, leaving nearly 300,000 customers without electricity. The storms brought wind gusts over 90 miles per hour, large hail, and widespread damage, prompting weather warnings across the region. ComEd crews are working to restore power as officials monitor ongoing impacts. Logan Page, R News Now, WVON 1690.
And that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 9:34. Shop small with Wintrust Bank and celebrate the heart of our community, our local businesses. Listen as we share a list of small businesses throughout our community that we can shop, dine, and support throughout the year. These businesses are the economic engine that drives our neighborhoods. Wintrust knows that. That's why they're Chicago's bank and why they're encouraging you to shop local. Keep listening for the Wintrust Community Business Spotlight campaign. With Wintrust, shopping small is a big deal.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by RockAuto.com. A bent tie rod can quickly bring a drive to a halt. For parts needed to get back on the road, visit RockAuto.com. Find a wide selection of quality parts at reliably low prices, delivered right at your door. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Right now, along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, that northbound trip from 67th Street to Jackson, just about 19 minutes. We're seeing some solid conditions between 18th and Monroe. There are stoplight delays, plus streets in and around Grant Park are closed as crews right now are setting up for Lollapalooza. Hollywood to Monroe, just fine as you make your way along the Rye, and still heavy for this time of morning at 25 minutes from 95th Street into downtown. Outbound looks good. Things also look good along the Bishop Ford and Tuskegee Airmen Memorial. Still that 40-minute trip along the Stevenson from I-355 to DuSable Drive, 40 traveling out. The Eisenhower moving along at 55 minutes from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, outbound 50. A slight improvement along the Kennedy, 44 minutes now. In from O'Hare to downtown, getting to the airport still a 30-minute trip. Taking a look at our weather, cloudy and cooler today. The National Weather Service says we're going to top out at around 78. Tonight, temperatures are going to level off at around 66. We've been hovering in the upper 60s all morning long. 69 at O'Hare is 69 at the Obama Presidential Center and 69 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 9:37. And listen, guys, it's a turbulent Tuesday. And there's breaking news. As I am watching in the studio, the late Senator Lindsey Graham is being lying in state right there in the nation's capital. And I just saw a speck of pepper. That's right, it's your Uncle Tim Scott. Senator Tim Scott got to be the only black face along with this black officer there. There's two black people at this funeral. Now call in and correct me if I'm wrong. But this says a lot. Now, does it say a lot about you and deaf if you black and there's only two white people at your funeral? I mean that you didn't have many white friends. Is that what that means? Because I'm counting two, and the officer clearly was mandated to be there. Now, Uncle Tim Scott, that's y'all uncle, not mine. Apparently he's been showing a lot of love to the late senator, but he literally has to be the only black person there. Now, you take that for breaking news if you want to, but that says a lot to me about Lindsey Graham and the company that he kept, because I have yet to see a black face. Just a lot of black suits, black ties, black shoes. No black people. Now, getting back to the program at hand, I'm going to come back to another clip of the former mayor. And here it is, particularly on the day of petition collection, right? Across the city, everybody and their mama will be asking you, hey, sign right here. Sign this, sign that. Be mindful what you're signing. Read it. Even read the fine print. I watch folks to just say, okay, I'll sign it. Don't be so quick to put your John Hancock on everything. Read it. And be mindful of to whom you give support to. Please do. You know, everybody want to sign 2, 3 petitions. Only one signature will count at the end of the battle, right? So be mindful to who you give it up to and why. Because somebody voted for Mayor Emanuel. Not once, not twice, and you would have voted a third time if it were not for 16 shots and a cover-up. And now he's risen from the halls of Congress to chief of staff to the first black president of these United States to the mayor of the city of Chicago to the ambassador of Japan. And now he wants to be your president. And he's using his resume from Chicago braggadociously to do it. Now, I don't know about you and what Chicago you lived in under the Emanuel administration, but help me understand. And then when he says a free college, now, post-secondary was my professional background for more than a decade. I left with a $6 million portfolio. It's over 3,300 colleges and universities across the country. I'm trying to identify what school he talking about, and I couldn't. I need to text my husband. Maybe he can help me, or maybe you can. 773-591-1690. What free college? Which school is he referring to? Now, I do remember the transformation of the city colleges, right? And then the Star Scholarship, right? I could name some signature programs, but I'm like, huh? But what I can identify is the 50 schools he closed. And then you all are bringing up Barbara Bird Bennett, Forrest Clay, Poole. I remember that episode. I'll take you back to John Claude Bazar. I remember when he was my CEO. And we paid him out a full contract. Wasn't here but 2 months. Barely could speak English. I can tell you that one easy. It's amazing to me. Because throughout my entire career, Chicago Public Schools, he was the mayor. I had 4 CEOs. So when we talk about education and stability, I'm here to talk about and testify to the lack thereof, sir. I was there. 773-591-1690. Let's talk to Keith. Keith, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Mrs. Draper. Thank you for your forum and giving us a chance to speak in it. I don't know everything, but I do have an idea of what I know. So here we go. Our pastor says that we are not either or, but both and. So in my opinion, Emanuel isn't either good or bad, but both good and bad. So I don't know who I would have voted for because I didn't have the choice then, but I knew I would have chosen the lesser of two evils. His decisions did hurt some, in my opinion. That was mine. And they may have helped others. Closing the schools may have supported the city budget because my mother didn't send me to public schools. She didn't believe in them. As today, many people are leaving our city, including your outlet. So although the CPD, shooting cover-up is evil, we may have made our own bed that we're sleeping in right now by reducing the demands that we have on our government that we pay for one way or the other. Oh, and I thought getting your associate's degree at Harold Washington or Malcolm X was free.
Maybe. I couldn't identify the one because I still got students matriculating to and through there, and they come back with a bill. Let me ask you this.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your top demand of a presidential candidate to earn your vote?
I don't have a top. I want a UBI. I want fair taxes. I want fair taxation. I want.
No. It got to be one.
I don't have one.
And that's what fair. I think. No.
So much going on.
And it is, which is why I think from a uniformity standpoint, we're going to have to narrow down to one. And it is tough, Keith. And I knew you would be excellent to test the message. We're going to have to narrow that one.
Thank you.
Are. No doubt.
Okay.
Let's talk to
Thank
Pam. Pam, welcome to WVON. Oh, I see the third. Hey, I see the third black person. I don't know where they got him from. I think he giving the prayer. I done counted 3.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Rahm is a big no, and I could say worse. Because I remember that time during the closings, going to meetings, fighting, and the last meeting I attended was a hearing that was called by Congressman Davis. So at this particular meeting, and I think at the time there was an Asian lady who was also, I think, held one of the positions, high positions at CPS. So when I stood up, I simply said this, Cleopatra. I said, if these were Jewish students attending public schools, Rahm could not look these Jewish parents in their Jewish faces, and I said this at the hearing, and close 50-plus schools. He wouldn't do it. He'd try to find resources to keep them open. So if he wouldn't do it to Jewish people, why are you doing it to black parents and black students? Same principle for Laquan McDonald. Do you think Rahm would have covered up the murder of a Jewish youth shot 17 times by CPD? See, I'm clear about what makes sense to me, Cleopatra, and it doesn't have to be some big shiny thing. I bring it down to the basics where the goats can get it. For me, Rahm is a racist, and I don't care about his influential friends. I don't care about he was chief of staff for Obama. I don't care about all of that. He is a bad actor, and he has too many black influential people who are supporting him and offering cover, as well as the black people who just simply voted for him. So he's a no for me, and for that reason, and then not only that, as a presidential candidate at this point, Cleopatra, I want to know, as a presidential candidate, even as a mayoral candidate, who did you vote for in the 2024 election? That's what I want to know, because that's going to tell me a whole lot right there. Who did you vote for, Harris or the adjudicated rapist in the White House?
And
Thank you,
Pam,
Cleopatra.
wait, before I let you go, because I got to test this on you too.
Sure.
What's your top demand of a presidential candidate to earn your vote?
My top demand, just speaking from my logic and my sense of who I am, Cleopatra, I have to have some evidence that you have the best interests of black people at heart. And I have to see some evidence in that in your body of work. Does that help? I don't know.
No. What I'm looking at is, for me, for everybody that's listening, I'm gonna give the question to myself. My top demand is reparations, and I don't need a mule. Y'all know me, Beamer, Benz, or Bentley, but I do need my check. That is from henceforth, now and forever. I have lived to see beyond the possibility. See, I done seen over the mountain beyond the possibility of what you can do. Yet they pulling up the truck right now to the U.S. Treasury and robbing the bank, okay? And while they taking that money, they putting his face on another piece of money, literally. So I just need my check, because I think we need an evacuation plan, Black America. I don't know where they want to take this to, but they will not cannibalize me and mine. So I am with Brother James. I hear him in his calling, and I am saying to us on some X-Pact and X-Facto, we need a plan. But for me, if you ain't talking about reparation, I don't want a programmatic approach. I need my check. See what I'm saying?
Okay. That was going to be my next question. And what form is reparations
I don't
looking like
see
for us?
what they tried in Evanston. That's cute. That you can do that on a city level, right? That's a
Sure,
program.
that's a
I
program.
need
I
my
get you.
check,
I get you.
right? Because every other race under the sun was cut a check, and then resources. Many of them go to school. They got access to opportunities. I don't even need all that. I just need the check and my Beamer, Benz, or Bentley. It's your choice. You figure it out what you want to do. Just point me to a lot, and then I'll ride off to the sunset. But I need my check. Me and my sons need my check.
Well, you put some on my mind. I mean, reparations. I can go with that.
And then
really
for
can go with that.
those Negroes under the sound of my voice, say I don't want that. I don't need that. Put it in an account and let that be the draw for us to develop our bank. Okay, you don't get it back. We're gonna put it in the reserve, and we're gonna create the community bank of foundational blacks, and then that'll be our foundational money for those that don't want their check. We'll take your money and we'll put it in a reserve, and that's how we'll borrow against each other, right? We no longer need to borrow from America. We'll do it like that.
Reparations is not about something that we're begging for. It is to repair the harm.
It is an
and
atonement.
damage, and it is owed to us.
But
Yes.
there are some blacks that say, I've talked to them, I've interviewed them, they say they don't want it. So I even got a plan for their money too.
Let someone else get it.
No.
Or maybe someone in your family needs
I said put it in reserve. Put it in the foundational black community bank. We're going to create a whole bank of the money that they don't want.
Makes sense to me.
And then we don't have to borrow against nothing and nobody.
But then with the inception of this country, Cleopatra, just think about all the free stuff that the white settlers got, right?
I'm trying to tell you.
Think about all the free stuff that helped make them whole.
And then you talking about settlers, we can go back to the GI Bill. We could just keep it right there. That they're still benefiting from. We can go back to the settlers, or we can go back to the conquistadors, or we can go back to the GI Bill right here, right now. But the point is, that is land. Absolutely and it wasn't free. A lot of it was riddled with the blood of the native, and then mowed by the blood of our people.
Yes.
And tilled by the blood of our people. So it wasn't really free. They stole it. That's why I always ask, what can be illegal on stolen land? And then somebody questioned me and said, well, how do you own a house on stolen land? I said, well, point well taken, sir. But because I'm a foundational black, this land has been what I've known until I can know something else. And until I can know something else, I need my check to do it. Amen?
Amen.
All right, then.
Thank
Listen,
you.
when we come back, Michael, Andre, Randy, I see you on the live line, and I see you all in the chat. The question of the day, I want us to think, because these people are going to come. And one thing about it, we have to have a monolithic approach, even though we're not a monolith as a people. And we're going to have to settle the score on something. And always the something we pick, everybody benefit from. But here's the something everybody can't benefit from. Reparations. Only the foundational black folks that are descendants of African slaves can benefit from that. And to be very clear, America refuses to atone for it, even now before the United Nations. But you want my vote. You want me to help you save America yet once again. And how is it working out with your leadership? It's not. It's nothing they can do without us, so you got to count us in. And if you're going to count us in, I'm saying cut the check. We'll be back after this break.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
3 days, 3 phenomenal women, award-winning commentator Joy Reid, and the ultimate it girl Keke Palmer, and gospel's best Leandria Johnson, only at the Black Women's Expo, Friday, July 31st through Sunday, August 2nd at McCormick Place. Plus, live entertainment from the main stage featuring American Idol's Keela Richardson and the Los Angeles-based duo Shakespeare blending R&B, soul and pop, a house music party with DJ Celeste Alexander, and much more. Community, beauty, wellness, food, family fun, powerful conversations, and shopping all in one place. Half-price adult tickets at all Walgreens locations. Sponsored by University of Chicago Medicine, Humana, City Colleges of Chicago, Rush University Medical Center, and Vive Healthcare. Check out the lineup at www.bwenext.com for more details.
Get your outfits, grab your crew, and get on board with the Me Plus 3 special starting at $1,000 per person. This time, join the Foundation Fantastic Voyage 2025 cruise will be fun, entertaining, and this will be a once-in-a-lifetime event with seminars, fitness workouts, parades, concerts, and much more starting at $1,000. Call 214-495-1963 to book your Me Plus 3 cabin. Prices are based on 4 passengers in the cabin, so book today while they last and before cabins are sold out.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermal, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
It's the afternoon show.
Those people that are saying I am not my ancestors are speaking from a place of privilege only given to them by their ancestors. So how can you come here now, right, when they've shed all the blood, when they've been bitten by all the dogs, when they've been hosed down by all the hoses, when they've been slapped in the face by all the cops, and here you come after laws have been passed to say what you wouldn't allow? I am not my ancestors. I think that is insanely disrespectful.
Weekdays at 3 on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
WVON traffic and weather now.
DuSable Lakeshore Drive seems a lot more crowded and congested than it really is because all of your delays are happening right around Grant Park. That's due to street closures through Grant Park as crews are setting up for Lollapalooza. So as you make your way northbound from 67th Street to Jackson, you're going to hit the brakes right around Soldier Field. It's going to be stop and go all the way to Monroe. The stoplight delays in addition. And then as you make your way southbound, know that the southbound lane is shut down due to Lollapalooza from Monroe to Roosevelt Road. Taking a look at our weather. We're seeing some cloudy conditions today. It's been misty on again and off again. The National Weather Service says much cooler with temperatures topping out now at around 79 with a new low of 67. But right now, it's been steady in the upper 60s with no major changes. Still 69 at O'Hare. It's 69 in South Chicago and 69 here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Anna Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 9:57 and buckle up, Buttercup. It's a turbulent Tuesday. And I told you summer school is cool. Look at all these students in class today. Oh, man, the chat is lit. The phone lines are lit. And we're talking about former Mayor Rahm Emanuel. He's been globetrotting. And I'm all over that beat like sprinkles. I can't help it. Today's the day where candidates are running across the city of Chicago, and they'll be asking you, your mama, and cousin to sign something. I want you to read it. Be mindful what you sign and make sure they've earned it. Don't just say, oh, it's just a signature. Don't do that. Don't do that. Make them earn it. Black community is the most exploited. And you do need to have an ask. And it needs to be crystal clear. But too often, even when you have an ask, you'll let them sit for 20, 30 years. Ain't earned it. And now you fall victim. Weak in the knees because you can't get them out. Be mindful. You don't know how to fight, you better ask somebody. Because I'm here to tell you, we are in the fight for our lives. And this man is playing in our face and using Chicago's resume as a presentation, the blueprint of how he gonna run the country. Ooh, wee. Let's talk to Michael O'Connor. Michael, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Let me just see reparations now.
I know that's right. Period.
You didn't hear nothing. Nobody got to say, hand me my check, and I will be on my way. Ghana, here I come.
I'm trying to tell you.
I'm not trying to deal. And Rahm Emanuel, I mean, really, anybody with any amount of intelligence of any kind, anybody who can read more than the sixth grade level, understands that Rahm Emanuel is not in the best interest of black folks in any shape, form, or fashion. That's my comment. You have a great day.
Excellent, excellent. Salient point. Listen, guys, when we come back, Andrew, Randy is on the live line, and I see you all in the chat. I definitely want to read this one. Barbara said, good morning. Great show. I agree with Pam. No vote for me and my family. Reparations for me, too. Top of the list. Gary Lewis says, Rahm Emanuel's father was in Igran, a Zionist terrorist organization, and pre-Israel. They were responsible for the bombing of the King David Hotel in British Mandate, Palestine. There's some rich history behind there, guys. We better do something better in these next voting cycles, or we'll be in the soup line, says Preston Shanks. More when we return. I'm asking you all, what is your top demand for a presidential candidate to earn your vote? Meanwhile, back on the ranch, Rahm Emanuel for president 2028. What do you say? Has he earned your vote? And I'm not exclusively talking to Chicago, but Chicago knows something about it while he's using us as a resume. Has he earned it? We'll be back after this break.
Cloudy and cooler as the city tries to dry out on this Tuesday, July 28th, 2026. I'm in Illinois. Into the headlines. ComEd is warning that it could take days until power is restored for everyone following yesterday's severe wind and rainstorms. ComEd says this weather season has been quite challenging. Well, the word this morning is cleanup after powerful storms swept across the area. Several areas were hit hard with high winds, leaving widespread damage. And Governor Pritzker is signing a bill into law that will require students put down their cell phones while in class. National news from the Black Information Network is next on Chicago's original social media platform, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 10:01.
Here's BIN News Now. A public feud is growing in Texas politics as Agricultural Commissioner Sid Miller accuses Governor Greg Abbott of favoring the data center industry.
Millions of dollars from the data center. Go look at the Ethics Commission.
Miller claims Abbott's efforts to protect consumers are inadequate, pointing to recent campaign donations from business leaders tied to major data center projects. Tuskegee University has updated its student dress code and conduct policy, banning items such as bonnets, do-rags, bedroom slippers, and revealing clothing in classrooms and dining halls. University leaders say the changes are designed to promote professionalism, career readiness, and workplace expectations. And a federal judge in Virginia is ordering the FDA to review restrictions on the abortion pill mifepristone. The ruling stems from a lawsuit filed by several states, with the court finding the agency must take a closer look at regulations governing access to the medication. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Terry McCready.
A primary runoff and a U.S. special election underway today in 2 states. In Georgia, 6 candidates are running to serve out the remaining term of late Democratic Congressman David Scott, who passed away in April. Scott served as the top Democrat on the House Agriculture Committee from 2021 until last year and was its first black chair. The contest in the Deep Blue District has 4 Democrats and 2 Republicans on the ballot. Meanwhile, in South Dakota, Republican voters will decide between Governor Larry Roden and businessman Toby Doden in the primary runoff for governor. The primary calendar kicking back into high gear next week with contests in Michigan, Kansas, Missouri, Virginia, and Washington. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is pushing affordability as the #1 campaign issue heading into the midterms.
In 100 days, you can vote for an America that is affordable,
and lower the cost of groceries, gas, and housing. In 100 days, you can vote for an America where affordable health care is available to every single citizen.
Speaking at a weekend campaign event for Pennsylvania congressional candidate Bob Brooks, Jeffries said when you work hard and play by the rules, you should be able to live an affordable middle-class life. Jeffries says affordability involves a number of ideas to lower costs, including ending President Trump's tariffs and ending the war in Iran. He also said it's necessary to clean up what's going on in what he calls the dumpster fire of Washington, D.C. The federal government is pushing to reauthorize funding for the renovation of New York's Penn Station, but with the caveat of a name change attached. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy wants to allow billions of dollars in funding to go toward Penn Station, but only if it gets renamed after President Trump. Senator Chuck Schumer says there's no way that's happening.
Any bill that renames Penn Station for Trump is dead in the United States Senate. I will block it. It ain't happening, Donald Trump. Forget about it.
The directive did not specify exactly what the DOT would want the hub renamed, but it comes after Duffy floated the idea of the name Trump Station last year. Penn Station's renovation is expected to cost over $8 billion. Former President Barack Obama headlining a redistricting fundraiser for the National Democratic Redistricting Committee. The event is scheduled for August 31st and will include a dinner and discussion. The fundraiser comes as Democrats are looking to push back on Republican efforts to redraw maps nationwide, as well as gain control of the House and Senate. Under former Attorney General Eric Holder's leadership, the NDRC is now looking to rework campaign strategy, fundraising, ballot initiatives, and lawsuits in the state redistricting fight. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow VIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Charmin Ultra Strong. You can use less, better than the rest. Charmin Ultra Strong. Your booty past the clean test. Salmon weave texture, it's the best. Study up, teach a lesson on fresh. Your booty past the clean test. Charmin Ultra Strong.
Charmin Ultra Strong with diamond weave texture cleans better than the leading one-ply brand, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
I was having a medical procedure, and I wanted to ensure my kids would get my home should something happen to me. I called attorney Ted London. He provided the land, trust, and power of attorney. Now my kids will not have to go through the probate process.
After the death of my husband, I had to get my affairs in order. I called attorney Ted London. Now my family and home will not have to go through the probate process.
773-721-3333. This report is brought to you by ComEd, powering lives. Here's a great savings idea. Did you know you've got the power to manage your energy? Yep, from usage alerts to energy-saving programs and more. ComEd has all kinds of ideas to help you gain control over your energy-saving costs. Find out more at ComEd.com/energy savings.
WVON traffic and weather now.
The inbound Ryan just bumped back up to 26 minutes from 95th Street into downtown. The express lanes right now slow from 55th to the Stevenson. Outbound along the Ryan, things are just fine. Things are also just fine along the Bishop Fort and Tuskegee Airmen Memorial each way. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, 67th Street to Jackson, 16 minutes. Hollywood to Monroe, no problems, no delays there. If you're on the Stevenson, you're down to the posted speed in from I-355 to DuSable Drive and back again. The inbound side of the Eisenhower, not too bad. A 45-minute trip from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. Outbound, you'll need 40 minutes. And the Kennedy, things are shaping up nicely. You're down to 35 minutes in from O'Hare to downtown. Getting to the airport, much better, down to 27 minutes. Taking a look at our weather, cloudy and misty. A little cooler as well. The National Weather Service says we're headed toward a daytime high of around 79. Tonight, temperatures going down into the 60s. 67 is our low. Right now, all morning long, hovering in the upper 60s. It's 69 at Midway, 69 in Robbins, and 69 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flurnoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's the Cleopatra Show on Chicago's essential storyteller, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. It's a turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show, and it is 10:09, and we've been having the conversation, guys. It's a lot of folks coming out the woodwork saying they want to be your president, and they got resumes. They got baggage. Talking about sandwich bags, Louis bags, full of stuff. And one of which is your former mayor, Mayor Rahm Emanuel, also former congressman. Served 3 terms, was elected 4, and then went on to serve as the chief of staff to the first black president here in America, better known to us as President Barack Obama. That's his claim to fame. And him got a brother that's big time in Hollywood. And he rolled with AIPAC. And he went over to Tel Aviv and caught the attention of Netanyahu and Cleopatra. I said, oh, you've commanded my undivided attention, sir. And I'm listening. And I didn't hear when I closed 50 schools how I made Chicago great again. I didn't hear when I covered up 16 shots and the cover-up of Laquan McDonald, how I left a marquade on the city that was just amazing. But yet he went on to become the ambassador in Japan. Here it is. We like 2 ships traveling. I'm there as a delegate, and he's coming a couple years later to keep the relationships for America and keep it great again. How the hell, how is this possible? I'm asking. So as these folks today are going to be shoving these papers in your face, read it. Don't just sign anything. Understand their platform. Really understand and support whether or not I want you to represent me. Be crystal clear, because these folks are just popping up. Rahm showed up at your red line station and shook your hand, and you just fell all over yourselves. Your governor show up at your backpack giveaway, and you just smiling ear to ear. Both of whom are talking about universal pre-K. Last I checked, that ain't even in every school in Chicago. And this $734 million gap, shortfall, deficit is just the beginning. Chicago Public Schools is in a $9 billion deficit, which is equivalent to their budget. Make it make sense. So who's winning? The banks, not your children. The banks. So I'm asking, when you look over the resume, has he earned the attention? And why does he get so much damn attention? He gets a lot of attention for crediting and shaping the Democratic Party in the past 2 decades. I'm like, huh? What? This is the same party that I just told you yesterday that got primetime real estate up as collateral because we're in a $2 million deficit. Oh, that party. So on this turbulent Tuesday, the phone lines are yours, because maybe y'all know something I don't know. 773-591-1690. And yes, to confirm, the third black person that I did see at Lindsey Graham funeral was Barry C. Black. He's retired chaplain of the United States Senate. So he was there on assignment too. So the 2 brothers that was there, one that was in uniform and the other that was a retired chaplain, and then your Uncle Tim Scott. So 3 black people, 2 of whom had to be there. Amen. I'm going back to the phone lines. Let's talk to Andre. Andre, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Good morning to you, Miss Cleopatra. Thank you for having me, and I always want to thank you for letting me be myself.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna deal with your subject matter today. First of all, I don't care for Rahm Emanuel, and I never did. And I'll tell you the reasons why. He was chief of staff for Barack Obama, and I think he abandoned Obama and left and come here to run for mayor. Now, I don't know if Obama feels the same way as I do, but I think he abandoned. Rather than stay there and do the heavy lifting and being chief of staff, he chose to come back here and run for mayor, and he said he would only run for mayor if Daley didn't run. So he was much of a coward. He didn't want to run against Daley. Second of all, he supported Hillary Clinton first. See, he didn't support Obama initially. He started off supporting Hillary Clinton for president. Then he switched over to Obama. I guess he's seen the tea leaves that, hey, Obama was going to lead. And when it comes to Laquan McDonald, Rahm Emanuel's uncle retired from the police department. He was a sergeant for 25 years in the 17th district. So I think rather than protect Laquan McDonald's rights, he was trying to protect the police because he was kind of biased because his uncle was the police chief. The last question you asked, Ms. Cleopatra, what is my number one demand for president, is going to be affordability. Why do I say affordability? Because I think affordability is more achievable at this point we're living in with a Republican-dominated presidency and Congress, more achievable than the reparations. So I didn't take reparations off the stove. I just put it on the back burner for now. We still deserve it, and I think eventually we'll get it. But at this point in time, when we got a Republican Supreme Court, a Republican Congress, Republican presidency, reparations is kind of in the back burner. We could achieve affordability more so because people will run on affordability and can get elected on affordability question without even mentioning socialism. I don't like the term socialism. I understand it, but I don't like it. But to me, Cleopatra, affordability is more achievable than reparations. And hopefully you can understand. And I see what you say about reparations too. You know, that's your number one demand, but which is more probable to get at this point? What is more probable?
I think two things can be true. I think that they're both achievable. I think what is owed, a debt that is owed, should be paid. And we've paid the iron price generation after generation. So if it's not achievable in this lifetime, then burn it all down at this point. Because I've watched us carry a collapsed economy 7 times in Argentina. I've watched this soldered relationship in Israel. I've watched the Trump boys pull up the truck to the Treasury and rob the bank blind. So they all are achievable. I think this is deliberately cruel what is being done to people in their most vulnerable state. So while we take care of the business at hand on the home front to stabilizing America, you need to take care of the foundational blacks in America and pay the debt that is owed. And then we go on about our business because the more you draw this out, the worse it's going to be. I'm going to share something with you. I've been watching and I'm doing some in-depth homework on Abraham Lincoln because I am just trying to come to the conclusion how strong is the vitriol and the racism in America, and why is it rearing now like it hasn't in some time? And I wanted to go back, and I discovered this documentary that I just found to be fascinating. It's on Netflix about Abraham Lincoln and his life and his time and his presidency all the way to his assassination. And folk been mad a very long time about the fact that we're free, but freedom has come at a cost. And they are literally willing to cut their nose to spite their face, hence the birth of Trump. And those that follow him for whatever reason, the policy, whatever drove you and whatever drives you, at the end of it, the erasure of black people and our contributions and our existence is tantamount. So I say all that to say, cut the check. And for those of us that want to escape this experiment, God bless you in your ministries. But to hold us prisoner and hostage until you pay me my money is not going to work either. Because we can't live in this experiment under these conditions. It's just not working out. And for those of us that want an escape route, I think you have to escape with something. And I think it's important that you have what was owed so that whatever you choose to do with it, it is up to you and yours. But that is it. And then we can break free. We can go our separate ways. And I think that this is what America has to realize. And that's a part of that enlightenment, that atonement that needs to happen.
I agree. Ms. Cleopatra, can you check on something for me? I don't know if you noticed, but it looks like to me The View is on its way out because they've been showing reruns for a good little while on The View, and they've been advertising The View to do the whatever that little code is to try and save Channel 7. So it looked like to me The View is on their way out.
And I pray not. I'm actually in a meeting about them in a couple of days. I pray not, but I respect that they are willing to fight for something. You know, they're the number one viewed talk show in America as we speak, and they've been no friend to the Trump administration. But if they're on their way out, so is the free press.
Well, you know what I say, maybe we can help with this because they've been showing the hashtag on the TV to scan with your phone and tell the FCC that you want channel The View to stay on the TV. So I think that's be good. I think.
All right. Well, I'll accept that. I'll work on that Friday. You have my word.
Okay. Thank you for having me again, and thank you for letting me be myself, Ms. Cleopatra.
Absolutely. Listen, when we come back, Brother Randy, TJ, and Darva, I see you on the live line. And Joey said affordability wouldn't just be for us. It would be included for everyone, which is why I said America. Our hearts are so pure as just black people. When black people win, whether folks accept it or not, everybody wins. I am asking for something exclusively old. And it ain't just because it was some miracle thing. It was the worst thing. It was the greatest crimes in humanity. Right? So for what is owed to us is reparations, which is not for everybody. It's just not. And that documentary I'm talking about, I'm going to do an exclusive expose on Abraham Lincoln because I see him in a multifaceted light. But more importantly, it expounds upon, for me, is the why. Why are you so mad, though? The fight after the Emancipation and Proclamation, just the conversation alone was getting folks whooped with canes in the Senate, beat to death, hangings. In other words, the states that broke apart, Ulysses versus the Confederates. This is real. And then the resurrection under this administration to rename these forts of these losing Confederate soldiers and leaders that were breaking apart. They wanted sovereignty from this country. Wanted is past tense. They want. The greatest wealth that was generated was off the backs of my ancestors and yours. If you are of foundational black in this country and your existence alone, you got Trump right now putting up signs in the Smithsonian's talking about what was true and what wasn't. The whitewashing is here to stay. And the experiment of America is at a whole nother high. And you think I don't want what's owed to me? Before you all cannibalize what's left of this, I'll be out. It is what it is. At some point, we have to come to some conclusion and understanding. And if you can rob the bank, you can cut my check. We'll be back after this break.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
In July, Vaughn TV has your summer watch list covered. Go behind the headlines with the official launch of Portraits in Color, featuring candid conversations with music executive Matthew Knowles, community leader Jotaka Edie, and actress Danielle Truitt.
My family's very proud. It was very cool to, when the show first came out and to see myself in those credits, with dun 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 dun, and be like, that's me. That's crazy, It is very cool to be a part of the legacy of Law & Order now.
And that's just the beginning. Premiering this month, Serenity, Strength, and Style with Sylvia Ewing and Friends, a fresh new series featuring inspiring conversations about health, wellness, creativity, and living life to the fullest. This July, there's something for everyone on Vaughn TV. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, or at Vaughn.tv. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
Early detection saves lives. Ladies, if you're due for a mammogram, don't wait. Breast cancer is most treatable when it's found early. UChicago Medicine makes it easier to take charge of your health. Eligible patients can self-schedule their mammogram online or through MyChart in just minutes. Visit uchicagomedicine.org/mammo to schedule your screening. That's uchicagomedicine.org/mammo. UChicago Medicine at the forefront.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
Get your outfits, grab your crew, and get on board with the Me Plus 3 special starting at $1,000 per person. This time, join the Foundation Fantastic Voyage 2025 cruise will be fun, entertaining, and this will be a once-in-a-lifetime event with seminars, fitness workouts, parades, concerts, and much more starting at $1,000. Call 214-495-1963 to book your Me Plus 3 cabin. Prices are based on 4 passengers in the cabin, so book today while they last and before cabins are sold out.
It's Rufus Williams.
Harold Washington caught hell from the city council. Was it because he was black? Absolutely, without a doubt. And he came in to dismantle the machine. The challenge that we continue to have is that we don't get anyone in there beyond one term. He was only in for a term and a little bit because he died. Lloyd Lightfoot was only in for 1 term. And we don't know what Brandon Johnson is going to do. Daley's were able to be in for a longer time, to have more power and get more things done. And as well, Rahm was in for 2 terms. But does race matter in Chicago? Absolutely, as it continues to matter every place else in the country.
Weekdays at 7 a.m. on The Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
WVON traffic and weather now.
No major changes in your travel times, but we're still watching some activity along DuSable Lakeshore Drive. That's mainly due to the fact that Columbus, Jackson, Ida B. Wells, Congress Plaza Drive, Balboa, they're all closed right now through Grant Park until August 23rd, as crews right now are setting up for Lollapalooza. So expect delays northbound and southbound right there through Grant Park. Taking a look at our weather, we're seeing light drizzle and cloudy conditions. The National Weather Service says cooler as well, as temperatures top out only at around 79 today. Still steady in the upper 60s, no major changes there. We just got an update. We've made it to 71 at O'Hare. It's 71 at Rainbow Beach and 71 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 10:27. It's a turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show, and we've been discussing Rahm Emanuel, former mayor of the city of Chicago, who has presidential aspirations. And the question of the day is this: if you had the opportunity to ask a demand of a presidential candidate, what would it be? I'm talking about your top demand. For me, flat out, reparations. I have lived to see the possibilities. I believe. Cut the check, keep the mule, Beamer, Benz, or Bentley. And I'm going to ride out. I might pull up with Michael and Ghana. But this experiment in America is very interesting. I don't know the length or the time of how long it'll last. As I look at the 4th black person that is at Lindsey Graham's funeral, he too is in uniform. So of them, 2 are uniformed, 1 is retired, and the other is your Uncle Tim Scott. I'm going to the phone lines. The phone lines are absolutely lit. You all are feeling this. Summer school is so cool. Let's talk to Randy. Randy, talk to me. Welcome to WVON. Randy. Oh, no, Brother Randy. Wherefore art thou, Randy? Let's put Randy on hold. Let's talk to TJ. TJ, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Clee. How are you doing today?
I'm on fire. What's happening?
Yeah, I had to call this morning. I had my mom in the car, and she listens when I had to take her to the doctor, this and that. Listen, I got 3 things. Reparations is one, but I want to get to that last. So my 3 things will be universal health care for all, basically, because here's the thing. I think the not, and you had a couple calls to talk about socialism. It's not about socialism. Excuse me. It's about, I think what the DSA is saying is like, why not us? Other countries have capitalism and basic universal health care that does not bankroll as far as put people as far in the bind in regards to basic needs, and I think that's a universal right. The second one is UBI, Universal Basic Income. A lot of people talk about that. I think we need a basic income for people, this and that. Like so you got people working at Target or Walmart and other places, but they still can't afford health care, or they don't give out the proper health care in regards to the nature. And the next thing is reparations. Now, with that being said, Cleopatra, I get what you're saying, but here's the thing is that, for me, is that 2 cautions I have with that is, number one, the true cost as far as reparations to us will be so high as far as the actual amount that they would owe us, as far as, our not founding, but, as far as the generation, as far as the people from our ancestors that came from slavery will be so much. I think personally trying to run out the clock to other generations so that it's not even talked about no more, and the generations don't know about it. Like, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat your past in that nature. And with that said, for if they gave us reparations, I personally think, I would want to check too. If not for me, at least for my son and my grandkids, my future grandkids that come around, I think that they would try to put it in a program, and do it that way to keep them in there rather than just give it a check. If they could give aid and other entities as far as people have gotten reparations from the Japanese to the Germans, even the Indians who they stole the original land from, why not us? So the thing with reparations, I want to hear your feedback on that, is that I think that they are trying to run out the clock to like 2050 or 2100, like, okay, we need reparations for black folks, for descendants of slaves, because those generations that are coming behind us or up, they really not going to know what the true meaning or true value for us as reparation is. And then they would try to slap this as programs like, okay, we'll give black people free cottage for 2 years if you're descendant of slaves, or this or that or whatever, rather than giving us a check, my 40 acres and a mule. So that's what I want.
No, so the first 2 things you said was for everyone, and God bless you. And I believe in everything you just said, because I do believe in universal basic income, and I do believe in universal health care for all. But specifically, I think we've lived for the fight for everyone but us, and as a result of that, we're at the back of the line. And it's long overdue that America figures it out. They can figure out money for war, but can't feed the poor. They can figure out everything else. On this cost, this 151-day war has cost billions. We're tipping at $1 trillion. We really want to know. Not to mention the $1 trillion to hunt people because they're allegedly immigrants and not from here. So all I'm saying is that let them figure it out and let us help them. And that nominee better come with a calculus, because the last brother that was in that seat, he came with an opportunity for affordable health care, and they still can't undo it. So somebody needs to have the genius and to hire the talented folks that exist in this country to figure out reparations. Now, when we come back, TJ, Darva, Belinda, Randy, Andre, Al, I see you on the live line. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
69. Cooler as temperatures top out in the upper 70s. Good morning. I'm Emanuel, and here's what's happening. ComEd is warning that it could take days until power is restored following yesterday's storms. The company says this morning they're working hard to restore power to more than 200,000 customers across Illinois and Northwest Indiana. Chicago's south suburbs were hit hard. Even Lansing Mayor Brian Hardy says he grew up there and in 60 years has not seen the kind of devastation that the storms left behind. The American Red Cross is helping displaced families, and police are patrolling neighborhoods as crews continue to clean up. The National Weather Service is out making rounds today to assess and confirm whether tornadoes actually touch down. In Tinley Park, the storm flattened the rooftop of the Interstate Sports Dome. Luckily, no one was hurt. Perry Williams has more on the widespread damage in the Southlands.
Storms swept through yesterday, leaving behind damaged homes and downed trees. This resident of South Suburban Hazel Crest believes a tornado touched down in her area.
The whole roof is off of my daughter's home. Everything was ruined upstairs. In the house upstairs, beds, TV, clothes, furniture. And, I'm just glad we got out safe.
Hundreds of thousands of ComEd customers were left without power, and hundreds of flights at both O'Hare and Midway airports were canceled. I'm Perry Williams.
The Weather Service confirmed that there were wind gusts up to 100 miles per hour at times in areas such as Orland Park, Tinley Park, East Hazel Crest, Glen Ellen, and Downers Grove. Well, public school students will now have to put away their cell phones. This morning, Governor Pritzker is signing a statewide school cell phone ban into law. The signing is happening at Elgin High School. Now, this new law will require all school districts and charter schools in Illinois to limit student cell phone use during the entire school day. The goal is to create a better learning environment and focus by reducing distractions. This measure passed with bipartisan support. And Cook County State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke wants people who commit crimes on the CTA to know that they will do jail time. She wants that message to be so clear that she's kicking off a public service campaign on buses and trains. O'Neill Burke says her office has approved felony charges in 483 CTA-related crime cases since taking office 2 years ago. She also says that violent crime along the transit system is down by 30%. Since the first of the year. Well, that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVO News Time, 10:36.
3 days, 3 phenomenal women, award-winning commentator Joy Reid, and the ultimate it girl Keke Palmer, and gospel's best Leandria Johnson, only at the Black Women's Expo, Friday, July 31st through Sunday, August 2nd at McCormick Place. Plus, live entertainment from the main stage featuring American Idol's Keela Richardson and the Los Angeles-based duo Shakespeare, blending R&B, soul and pop, a house music party with DJ Celeste Alexander, and much more. Community, beauty, wellness, food, family fun, powerful conversations, and shopping all in one place. Half-price adult tickets at all Walgreens locations. Sponsored by University of Chicago Medicine, Humana, City Colleges of Chicago, Rush University Medical Center, and Vive Healthcare. Check out the lineup at www.bwenext.com for more details.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch. Like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Traffic nice and light on both the Bishop Ford and Tuskegee Airmen Memorial each way. That inbound trip along the Ryan, expect just about 21 minutes from 95th Street into downtown. The inbound express lanes, you'll hit the brakes right around 47th Street. We'll see some mild stop-and-go traffic as you make your way to the Stevenson, outbound just fine. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, not too bad, except delays right around Grant Park because of the closures due to Lollapalooza setup and those stoplights. As you make your way along the Stevenson, you'll move along at the posted speed each way. The inbound side of the Eisenhower, a 45-minute trip from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, outbound 40. And the Kennedy, things are going up and down. You're down right now. At 28 minutes in from O'Hare to downtown, you're up getting to the airport, now 35 minutes. Taking a look at our weather, cloudy and cooler today, a little misty at times. The National Weather Service says we're headed to a daytime high of around 79. Pretty mild tonight as well, going down to 67. No major changes. We're finally into the 70s, though. We're looking at 71 right now at O'Hare. It's 71 at Rainbow Beach and 71 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flurnoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 10:40. I'm going back to the phone lines. They're absolutely lit. I do have a line or two open. I see you all in the chat. And listen, guys, you're just tuning in for school? Yeah, that's cool. Summer school is in session, and I'm taking tardy passes. Just to update you, we've been talking about Mayor Rahm Emanuel. He's the former mayor, but he was putting out his resume as though he is the mayor and what he did for Chicago. And none of it talked about the ugly. Only the good. Last I checked, is the good, bad, and the ugly. And what was left of the city. And it was real. If you know something about it, let me know. Because there are speculations, and he's not denying it, that he's running for president in 2028. And I'm asking, what is your top demand of a presidential candidate? And no, for me, reparations is not a program approach. It is what I said. Cut the check. Keep the mule, Beamer, Benz, or Bentley. Now, y'all may not agree with the kind of ride I want, but I'm definitely going to ride out with that check. And even if you had to quantify what a mule would do in 2026, I'll take that too. And I'll go get my own Beamer, Benz, or Bentley as I ride out to the sunset, because this experiment is about to blow up. Literally. Day 51 of Trump's war, and the bill for the American people has crescendoed. And I'm talking about inflation, too. Here it is. We finally just opened up the bridge that is the scapegoat to Canada. Beautiful multi-billion-dollar project. And he refused to open it. So Canada was so disgusted, they didn't even invite one American elected official to their ribbon cutting. Not one. On top of his proposal of 50% tariffs of the business that we do with Canada, which is a neighbor. A brand new visionary opportunity, and he soiled it. So this experiment, as it is continuing to develop, how's it working out? Especially when America backs away from the table to reconcile and atone for slavery, chattel slavery being the greatest crime in humanity. How's that working out for us? 773-591-1690. When you think about former Mayor Emanuel's resume, is it worthy to be praised as he's touting it in Chicago, particularly universal pre-K, that does not exist in every school? What Chicago is he talking about? Is he talking about the tale of two cities? Because the Chicago I remember was inflamed after 16 shots in a cover-up. Inflamed about 50 schools closed in American history. 50. Not one in his neighborhood. Let's talk to Randy. Randy, let's see if he's still there. Randy, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Grand Rising. How are you?
I'm in good spirits.
I know you are, and I'm sorry about that. I accidentally grazed my mute button, And that's why you couldn't hear me and stuff. I actually kind of grazed it. But I just want to say I agree with many of the points that was raised by Andre as well as other people called the one before the break, the 10:30 break. Reparation, definitely. I agree with you 100%. I think that because once you get the reparation, and we have received it, thanks to Sister Robert Ruth Simmons, who's her first repair group in Evanston, Illinois, who basically were able to get reparations for brothers and sisters in Evanston and being challenged by a right-wing racist group that's tied to the Republican Party and supporters of Trump, challenging them in court. Okay, it's in litigation right now. But
if I may say, their reparations is tied to a program, and it is exclusive to those that are descendants of Evanston. So there is very programmatic and specific.
Sure, I concur with you. I agree with you. But I think it's a start. I think that we've been successful in having certain issues addressed. As a matter of fact, Dorothy Tillman years ago with the Slavery Disclosure Act, as well as others, they all are part of the whole reparation process in terms of repair, in terms of making sure that our people are finally repaid. You know, I remember Randall Robinson wrote the book The Debt, as well as The Reckoning. You know, but in his book The Debt, Randall Robinson talks about how the U.S. owes people of African descent funds and so forth for slavery, for Jim Crow segregation, for de jure, de facto segregation, et cetera, et cetera. So we have come in because if they can give money to Argentina, which they have billions, if they give money to all these various other groups, and then I think that definitely there's no problem with them trying to. Really, it's not rocket science when it comes to cutting the check for our people. So I agree with Pam on many points that she raised concerning how. Not Trump, but scratch that. Well, he's almost like Trump, military Trump. Rahm Emanuel. Rahm Emanuel is a racist and stuff. His father was the one who helped blow up the King David Hotel. Benjamin Emanuel, who's a pediatrician in Jerusalem, he collaborated with Menachem Begin, with the Ergon. The Ergon was responsible. The Stern Gang was responsible for the devastation at the King David Hotel in Jerusalem back in the 1940s. But I just want to say that as far as a person running for, I think one of the things I would recommend is that one, address the issue of the economic disparity and education and stuff like that in terms of education and healthcare. I think that those will be some of the top issues I think should be addressed by any candidate running. And I think more candidates have qualities like Mayor Brandon Johnson, as well as Mandani in terms of their social programs and addressing the needs of the working class.
No, I appreciate that, Randy. Thank you so much.
Keep up the excellent work.
All right. Let's talk to Andre. Andre, welcome to WVON.
All right. Hey, how's it going?
It's going.
All right. So, I listen and I hear a lot of people, and, as the saying say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Our people are not all of our people, are so passive and so, still with the mindset of getting on the back of the bus. So I agree with you in regards to reparations being the top priority, because not only does the debt need to be repaired, but we're walking around here with Smith, Johnson, and Jones not even knowing our descendants, not even knowing our bloodline, not even knowing. So even if you gave a person a check, that'd be a blind person not connected to anything but a plantation with a check. So I say that we need also with the reparations, including the reparations, DNAncestry.com, somebody to be able to trace our bloodline back to our lineage, to know who we from, where we from. And, we got kings and queens out here, and we got a lot of land back there. So reparations is a must.
No, I appreciate it. Good call. Good call. Listen, when we come back, Belinda, Al, Darva, you all are up next. I see some comments in the chat, and I want to make sure I raise them. Let's see. Donald says, I love Cleopatra, regardless if you are a liberal Democrat. Sad say, but the Democrats will not see the White House unless MAGA makes a major catastrophic catastrophe politically. Donald, baby, what you watching? I just shared yesterday, and I covered both ways. You can call me whatever name you want to call me, liberal, whatever. Call me a free black woman that can think. That's what you call me. And I shared yesterday that the Republican, the Grand Old Party, has nearly $500 million in its war chest, but couldn't buy a vote if they tried. Literally, 1 in every 5 reliable Republicans will either sit out the midterm or vote for a Democrat. And here it is, the Democrats, if they wanted to buy a vote, they literally cannot because they're in a $2 million deficit. So the house that I'm talking about, the house that black people built, the enslaved, chattel black folks that was here in this country built, is on fire. Even if the East Wing is destroyed. And the smoke is like the smoke that came from Canada. We can smell it a mile away. And literally, the experiment itself is about to vominos, poof, be gone. And before it disappear, I'm just warning a brother and a sister, get your check. That's all I'm saying. And you best believe Trump ain't boarding Air Force One now that he can't get on his other plane because it ain't retrofitted enough with our money, $400+ million of our tax dollars, to Michigan and to Arizona and to all of these places for nothing. He ain't deboing the United States Postal Service to demand that they stop taking your votes by mail for nothing. So the only way that a Democrat is not going to take back power is if literally America is not held at gunpoint, and which it is by the throat in the courts and is at gunpoint by all of the other federal agencies that are being destroyed. So what America and what world and what paper are you not reading? Catastrophe has been here. The collapse is in the rear. And the rubble from the ashes, I'm saying, who will rise like a phoenix? Black folk know something about it. More when we return.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Girl, where have you been? My laundry got backed up. I had so much laundry I felt like the help, but I found the truth.
You became a Jehovah's Witness?
I found Clean Break. For less than the price of a good meal, Clean Break washed and folded my clothes and had them smelling fresh the way I like.
It's gotta be inexpensive. You know all the hookups.
Darn Skippy. I wasn't about to pay no $100 for 2 bags of clothes, and I caught the WVON discount.
Girl, sign me up. I'm sold.
Try Clean Break today for just $25 per bag, including pickup and delivery. Call 708-980-7886 or visit cleanbreak.com. That's KLEANBREAK.com. Clean Break, fresh clothes, more free time. Get your weekends back.
So fresh and so clean, Break.
Ada S. McKinley has a fantastic early learning and childcare program for kids from birth to age 5. Give your child a strong start. Quality childcare at 13 locations. Free and affordable options. Full days that are convenient for parents. Home-based services for expectant moms and their kids. And they welcome children with disabilities. Limited space available. Enroll now. Call 773-780-0050 or visit adasmckinley.org.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference
for you. Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
Get your outfits, grab your crew, and get on board with the Me Plus 3 special starting at $1,000 per person. This time, join the Foundation Fantastic Voyage 2025 cruise will be fun, entertaining, and this will be a once-in-a-lifetime event with seminars, fitness workouts, parades, concerts, and much more starting at $1,000. Call 214-495-1963 to book your Me Plus 3 cabin. Prices are based on 4 passengers in the cabin, so book today while they last and before cabins are sold out.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Finally, your travel times along the inbound Ryan, under 20 minutes. You're down to 19 minutes from 95th Street into downtown. Outbound, things are moving well. So far, so good still along the Bishop Ford, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial each way, and not too bad along DuSable Lakeshore Drive at this time. Taking a look at your weather, cloudy and cooler. The National Weather Service says we're headed toward a daytime high of only around 79, 67 tonight. But right now, we have made it into the 70s. We're looking at 71 at O'Hare. It's 71 in Washington Park and 71 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Illinois on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 10:55. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. And of course, it's a turbulent Tuesday. I'm trying to get through these phone lines. Let's talk to Belinda. Belinda, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Cleopatra.
Good morning.
I couldn't agree with you more today. Just about everything you're saying is just so on point. I know it's a lot of things, that I care about more, or not more about than reparation, but health care is, at the top of my list too, affordable housing, education, a lot of things. But reparation is number one. And let me get this out of the way about Rahm Emanuel. I would never vote for him. And not only him, I wouldn't vote for Pritzker either. I don't care how many advertisements he put on there and how many black people are sucking up under him. I wouldn't vote for neither one of them. And another thing about reparation, I don't know. I read somewhere some years ago, but I couldn't pull it up on the internet today because my internet is out. But Abraham Lincoln paid reparation to the slave owners. I mean, I read that, and I was trying to bring it up so I could, tell you exactly when it happened, whatever. But he paid reparations to slave owners, and a lot of people get reparations. So I don't understand why our people think it's like a dirty word or something. I won't mind, and I don't want nobody to tell me how to spend it.
Well, that was
either.
a part of the agreement, which is why I'm going to do this expose, and I thank you for that, about Lincoln, right?
Yes.
Because they were property, and now they're no longer to be a tool to be used, there was a loss. It's no different than Trump and all of his businesses. When you lose in wages, somebody has to fill that void, right? So there were definitely checks passed out because their slaves were no more. But you don't cut the check to the slave or its descendants as promised, as written, as such. Come on, y'all.
They sent us away with nothing.
And I'm here to check and balance that. I'm telling you, flat out. And for those that don't believe, black folk, you have an assignment. I make you into a believer. What they say, fat me greasy. I'll make you into a believer.
You are so on point. That I just can't thank you enough for this.
Absolutely, good call. Let's talk to Andre. Is it Andrew? Andrew, welcome to WVON.
Hello, Miss Cleopatra.
Hey, good morning.
Hi. I have a few things to add to the conversation. I just wanted to say that I did a little research, and I found out that 40 acres of average land here in the state of Illinois would come to approximately $540,000. That's how much 40 acres here in the state of Illinois would cost. I don't know about the Deep South, but in Illinois it would be $540,000. If you add to it a John Deere tractor to plow that land, that tractor would be worth $12,000, a grand total of $552,000 for each and every Black American who is a descendant of a slave here in the United States of America. So we're talking cutting a check for approximately $552,000 for each and every Black American who is a descendant of slaves. Now, I didn't factor in, and I didn't know how to factor in compounded interest, because I feel that we would be owed interest on that $552,000 as well. But that's what each and every slave, each and every descendant of a slave would get, approximately $552,000. And in conclusion, let me just say this. I did read somewhere that after President Lincoln was assassinated, his vice president, Andrew Johnson, when he ascended to the presidency, supposedly he gave the land that was appropriated to the ex-slaves back to the former slave owners. Now, that's what I read. You can do some research on it to find out if that is really true. But President Johnson, once he ascended to the presidency, he took land away from the newly freed slaves and gave it back to the former slave owners. And I just wanted to add that piece to the conversation.
I think that was so rich. And the fact that you put up that effort, you got the extra credit of the day. I did take copious notes, and I appreciate that. And I'm going to work on our assignment. So I'm going to give out an assignment thanks to our esteemed classmate about compound interest. I'm going to have somebody on to discuss that. Based upon your figures alone, we're going to just use you as an example of us imagining from 1865 to 2026. Brother, I agree with you. There is absolutely some compounded interest associated with that takes it up 10,000 notches. Excellent call. When we return, Darva, Tommy, Al, I want you to hold tight. I do have a special guest. I got to take this sister because she was kind enough to hold tight with us, but I don't want you all to go nowhere. The phone lines have been lit all day, and I see the chat is up like a crescendo. Be sure to like and share the show. We'll be back after this break.
Cloudy and cooler. Temperatures remaining in the 70s on this Tuesday, July 28th, 2026. I'm in Illinois, and in the headlines, today is an important day for those running for mayor of Chicago and other citywide offices. It's the first day for candidates to collect signatures for their petitions to get on the ballot. Governor Pritzker signs a school cell phone ban into law. And the word this morning is cleanup after powerful storms swept across the area. Several areas were hit hard with high winds, leaving widespread damage. National news from the Black Information Network is next on Chicago's original social media platform. 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 11:01.
Public feud is growing in Texas politics as agricultural commissioner Sid Miller accuses Governor Greg Abbott of favoring the data center industry.
Millions of dollars from the data center. Go look at the Ethics Commission.
Miller claims Abbott's efforts to protect consumers are inadequate, pointing to recent campaign donations from business leaders tied to major data center projects. Tuskegee University has updated its student dress code and conduct policy, banning items such as bonnets, do-rags, bedroom slippers, and revealing clothing in classrooms and dining halls. University leaders say the changes are designed to promote professionalism, career readiness, and workplace expectations. And a federal judge in Virginia is ordering the FDA to review restrictions on the abortion pill mifepristone. The ruling stems from a lawsuit filed by several states, with the court finding the agency must take a closer look at regulations governing access to the medication. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Terry McCready.
A primary runoff and a U.S. special election underway today in 2 states. In Georgia, 6 candidates are running to serve out the remaining term of late Democratic Congressman David Scott, who passed away in April. Scott served as the top Democrat on the House Agriculture Committee from 2021 until last year and was its first black chair. The contest in the Deep Blue District has 4 Democrats and 2 Republicans on the ballot. Meanwhile, in South Dakota, Republican voters will decide between Governor Larry Roden and businessman Toby Doden in the primary runoff for governor. The primary calendar kicking back into high gear next week with contests in Michigan, Kansas, Missouri, Virginia, and Washington. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is pushing affordability as the #1 campaign issue heading into the midterms.
In 100 days, you can vote for an America that is affordable and lower the cost of groceries, gas, and housing. In 100 days, you can vote for an America where affordable health care is available to every single citizen.
Speaking at a weekend campaign event for Pennsylvania congressional candidate Bob Brooks, Jeffries said when you work hard and play by the rules, you should be able to live an affordable middle-class life. Jeffries says affordability involves a number of ideas to lower costs, including ending President Trump's tariffs and ending the war in Iran. He also said it's necessary to clean up what's going on in what he calls the dumpster fire of Washington, D.C. The federal government is pushing to reauthorize funding for the renovation of New York's Penn Station, but with the caveat of a name change attached. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy wants to allow billions of dollars in funding to go toward Penn Station, but only if it gets renamed after President Trump. Senator Chuck Schumer says there's no way that's happening.
Any bill that renames Penn Station for Trump is dead in the United States Senate. I will block it. It ain't happening, Donald Trump. Forget about it.
The directive did not specify exactly what the DOT would want the hub renamed, but it comes after Duffy floated the idea of the name Trump Station last year. Penn Station's renovation is expected to cost over $8 billion. Former President Barack Obama headlining a redistricting fundraiser for the National Democratic Redistricting Committee. The event is scheduled for August 31st and will include a dinner and discussion. The fundraiser comes as Democrats are looking to push back on Republican efforts to redraw maps nationwide, as well as gain control of the House and Senate. Under former Attorney General Eric Holder's leadership, the NDRC is now looking to rework campaign strategy, fundraising, ballot initiatives, and lawsuits in the state redistricting fight. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow VIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
In July, Vaughn TV has your summer watch list covered. Go behind the headlines with the official launch of Portraits in Color, featuring candid conversations with music executive Matthew Knowles, community leader Jotaka Edie, and actress Danielle Truitt.
My family's very proud. It was very cool to, when the show first came out and to see myself in those credits, with dun 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 dun, and be like, that's me. That's crazy, It is very cool to be a part of the legacy of Law & Order now.
And that's just the beginning. Premiering this month, Serenity, Strength, and Style with Sylvia Ewing and Friends, a fresh new series featuring inspiring conversations about health, wellness, creativity, and living life to the fullest. This July, there's something for everyone on Vaughn TV. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, or at Vaughn.tv. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
When you play the 7X Bingo Multiplier Instant Ticket from the Illinois Lottery, you play with purpose. Over $8.4 million has been raised to help support homelessness programs in Illinois. Purchase one to help raise even more. Be smart, play smart. Must be 18 years or older to play. Game odds available at IllinoisLottery.com.
It's Cleopatra Draper.
But when you say certain things like that, it's just
Well,
not
I
right.
know it's your show.
I know, that's why you called me.
I'm reading the article right here.
Yeah, but you can read. But
Section 2.
yeah, but as you read in the Constitution, they are moving the goalposts. Bianca, you too old for this.
Nobody's moving the goalposts.
Oh, nobody's moving the goalposts? Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. They definitely are. And you that big black hope on the 50-yard line saying, let me play.
Middays at 9 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by the Blizzard Double Flip Deal at Dairy Queen. The only thing better than grabbing a Blizzard treat on a warm sunny day will be snagging a second one for just 99 cents with the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. It's buy one Blizzard treat, get another one for just 99 cents. Only when you order in the DQ app. DQ. Happy tastes good. For a limited time at participating U.S. locations.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Our focus right now is on DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Right now, we're seeing some delays, especially northbound, right as you reach Grant Park. That's mainly due to the fact that streets are closed in and around Grant Park as crews right now are setting up for Lollapalooza. So as you make your way along near Columbus, Jackson, Ida B. Wells, Congress Plaza Drive, and Balboa, those streets are closed in both directions until August 3rd. That's when cleanup happens. Taking a look at our weather, pretty cloudy and cool today. We saw some misty conditions earlier. The National Weather Service says we're going up to a daytime high of only 79. Right now, temperatures are still in the low 70s, of course. We're looking at 72 at O'Hare. It's 72 in Washington Park. Now 72 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Ina Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's the Cleopatra Show on Chicago's essential storyteller, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 11:09, and it's the Turbulent Tuesday. And listen, guys, we're going to continue the conversation. Tommy, Al, hold tight. Don't go nowhere. Phone line's been lit all day because summer school is cool, and class is definitely in session. And today marks 98 days away from the midterms. It's a big deal. Anytime you see your president jet-setting, robbing Peter to pay Paul to buy a vote, 1 in every 5 reliable Republicans are either going to sit out or vote for a Democrat. That's a fact. And they nervous. That is a plunge of approximately 20%. Meanwhile, back on the ranch, your president is underwater, 40-some odd points. 71% disapprove of this war. We're in day 151. So as the country is counting down to Election Day, your vote matters. And election protection is a necessity because right now, who's in the stick-em-up crew is the United States Postal Service. Trump is persistently going after VBMs. That's vote by mail. Okay? You got to know some verbiage you're going to learn today. We're going to learn some acronyms. We're going to do an acronym day because I can go operative real quick. So, Camilla Factory as a senior national coordinator with Election Protection Coalition. They're in Arizona and Tejas. That's Texas. And we're going to ask you some questions because here in Illinois, you feel safe. Some of you all do, some of you don't. You're on the Blue Island and the red state. Let's be clear. And part of this state would love to succeed if they could and run to Indiana. Ain't about nothing. But yet and still, this is where we're at and this is how it is. 98 days away. What say you? Let's tap Miss Factory and see what she has to say because she sees this across the country, and I would like to know what she's saying. Camilla, welcome to the Cleopatra Show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So 98 days away. Yesterday I played that we had 99 problems and voting maybe one, but now it's 98.
Yes.
And election protection. You know something about it. So talk to us about it.
Oh, I know all about it. So election protection is a very large coalition. We're comprised of over 300 organizations that are dedicated to civil rights and voting rights We promote a national hotline called 866-OUR-VOTE. This is a impeccable resource that voters can call 365 days a year with anything from voting questions that they have, where their polling place is, where their precinct is located, all the way to reporting instances of discrimination in real time. Our coalition is equipped with civil rights attorneys that are ready to litigate on behalf of voters, especially in the South, Black voters who are up against this fight with us.
And, you know, where are we? Because as I'm reporting, the new move is to attack the United States Postal Service to prevent vote by mail. The straw that is being grasped, it constantly grows. I thought it was a short straw. I thought we were through with this when he was defeated. He being Trump and his administration was defeated before SCOTUS, the Supreme Court justices, and yet he's still trying.
You know, I'll be frank here, right? The stakes couldn't be higher with 98 days left to Election Day. Calais severely weakened the remainder of the Voting Rights Act and opened the floodgates for states to gerrymander anyone that they did not agree with out of a vote. We are seeing this disproportionately affect Black and brown voters in the South. But when we talk about vote by mail, we have to understand that this is about access, right? This is about access for elderly voters. This is about access for voters who live with disabilities. So this is an alarming thing that we're seeing, but we do want to encourage voters, especially at the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law, that our Election Protection Coalition is boots on the ground, ready to support voters and maintain democracy, right? Voting and elections should be free and fair and safe. And these below the belt attacks are not going to ensue. What I say to voters is do not hang your head. That promised land that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke of, we're going to get there.
But how do we get there? I mean, you know, as I'm watching in real time, I see some fallen soldiers. Particularly across the screen was um, uh, the late Lindsey Graham, senator, laying at the nation's capital, and we went from the fight of birthright citizenship to birthright senatorship. That is what is going rampant. You know, the rise of his sister to a seat, and then the attack on DEI as though who earned what, you know, and then these fights at the ballot box, right there in your state, Arizona, the rise of election deniers, you know, Tejas. When you go to Texas, one of the biggest fights in senatorship right now is Talarico. When you go to Michigan, I mean, I can go on and on. At what point, you know, and the biggest fights of our lives I just covered exclusively, the Republicans couldn't buy a vote, even though they have $500 million in their war chest. 1 in every 5 reliable Republicans will either sit out and or vote for a Democrat. And then the Democratic Party got the DNC headquarters up for collateral, and they couldn't buy a vote because they're in a $2 million deficit. What is happening?
You know, I'll be frank again, right? When I meet conversations about voter apathy, especially in the Black community, I validate them, right? There is a lot going on right now. But I wake up every day and remember that this is a marathon. It is not a sprint, right? Our ancestors sowed these seeds so we can continue to water them. When we're talking about what we can do right now, immediate voter action, the first thing you can do is check your voter registration status, right? We're seeing voters being purged across the country. So ensuring that your voter registration status is active is the first step. Secondly, knowing where your polling locations are and your voting options. Learning state rules for voter ID, mail-in ballots, right? Registration and early voting. You can call 866-OUR-VOTE to verify that information ahead of Election Day. But finally, what I'll say is, I really don't want to sound cliche here, but the truth is, you know, if your vote did not matter, they would not be trying so hard to take it away from you. And we have to remember that as a community. We have to understand that there are people that dedicate their lives every single day to this work, including myself. I am confident in the future of this democracy and especially the vote. But when you ask about what's going on here, I'll be frank and go back to Calais, right? We saw Tennessee wasted no time eliminating the state's only
Well, let's
majority
talk
black
about
congressional
Calais.
district.
So, Calais, give the
Yes.
history, please.
Yeah, so Calais basically, we saw the Supreme Court's decision in Calais basically gutting what was left of the Voting Rights Act, right? This was a major attempt to continue gerrymandering and redistricting in a way that draws lines that silo and silence Black voters. So in Alabama, where we saw the outcome of this, the Supreme Court allowed a 2023 congressional map that never actually used to stand, right? So we're seeing them redraw these maps in real time, and it's gaslighting. It's modern day gaslighting. We know that this is illegal. We know that this is not ethical, and we fight that in court every day. But what's terrifying about Calais is that the lawmakers in Louisiana, the origin of Calais, they passed a map that would strike one of the only Black opportunity districts. And what we're afraid of is that this is going to be a fire, right? That we see. We're expecting the outcome of Calais to be replicated in 2027 and 2028. But we are actively filing litigation, fighting this. Many states are considering redistricting. But we have to remember that redistricting is not just a 2026 topic, right? While, yes, this did happen at the Supreme Court level, we can look back at history and we can apply those tools that we have once applied in law and hope that we can make it through this. And I'm confident that we can.
I appreciate your confidence. Hold tight. I'm up against a break. When we return, there are some things that you can do, and you said it. Check your voter registration, down some numbers. We're going to talk about that. But I would love for you to talk about some issues. I believe in issue campaigning, and this is the greatest issue of our lives when it comes down to protecting our vote. I would love for you to expound upon that and how folks can get involved if they so choose. More when we return with Camilla. You don't want to miss this.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Shop small with Wintrust Bank and celebrate the heart of our community, our local businesses. Listen as we share a list of small businesses throughout our community that we can shop, dine, and support throughout the year. These businesses are the economic engine that drives our neighborhoods. Wintrust knows that. That's why they're Chicago's bank and why they're encouraging you to shop local. Keep listening for the Wintrust Community Business Spotlight campaign. With Wintrust, shopping small is a big deal.
Early detection saves lives. Ladies, if you're due for a mammogram, don't wait. Breast cancer is most treatable when it's found early. U Chicago Medicine makes it easier to take charge of your health. Eligible patients can self-schedule their mammogram online or through MyChart in just minutes. Visit uchicagomedicine.org/memo to schedule your screening. That's uchicagomedicine.org/memo. U Chicago Medicine at the forefront.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply. Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
Get your outfits, grab your crew, and get on board with the Me Plus 3 special starting at $1,000 per person. This time, join the Foundation Fantastic Voyage 2025 cruise will be fun, entertaining, and this will be a once-in-a-lifetime event with seminars, fitness workouts, parades, concerts, and much more starting at $1,000. Call 214-495-1963 to book your Me Plus 3 cabin. Prices are based on 4 passengers in the cabin, so book today while they last and before cabins are sold out.
WVON traffic and weather now.
No changes in your travel times as you make your way along the Ryan. You are looking at an 18-minute trip, though, from 95th Street into downtown. Outbound, things are pretty quiet. Also, things remain quiet along the Bishop Ford, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, and DuSable Lakeshore Drive each way. Taking a quick glance at our weather, cloudy and cooler. Temperatures topping out in the upper 70s today. The National Weather Service says we're going to drop down to around 66 now tonight. Right now, we're up to 73 at O'Hare. It's 73 in Jeffrey Manor and 73 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flurnoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 11:23, and it's a turbulent Tuesday on the Cleopatra Show, and it's 98 days away from the midterms. And on the live line is Camilla Factory. She is the Senior National Coordinator at the Election Protection Coalition, and they know something about this nationwide. And Camilla, I have some phone lines open, and I have a caller that would love to engage us and, talk about the motivation from a motivational standpoint of voting. You up for that call?
I'm down to clown. Let's do it.
All right, let's talk to Mike. Mike, join us in conversation. Welcome to WVON. Mike. Oh, Mickey, Mike. Vicky, Mike. Oh, Mike, hold tight. So, I was saying, for those that want to get involved, right, that, may feel like we're in a good space, check their voter registration, and want to do more in other places that are under duress. What would you have them do? What would you suggest?
So I would recommend that voters visit 866ourvote.org, where there is a volunteer portal. We can match individuals who want to join our efforts at election protection in several states across the country. Each state is tailored to their specific state law as it pertains to election protection and election compliance. So we basically offer an opportunity for individuals to become poll monitors, right? This means that they are deployed during early voting and election day as nonpartisan poll monitors to ensure that election polling locations are in compliance, that poll workers are in compliance, as well as ensuring that voters are equipped with what they need to feel safe and confident about casting their ballot.
No, I appreciate that. Let's see if Mike is available again. Let's try Mike one more time. Mike, welcome to WVON.
Yes, thank you for taking my call, Cleopatra.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate that. I was thinking I wouldn't be up right next. But what I want to say is this. What I think is my concern is the general public. We have the numbers, we got the power, but the people just don't seem to know that. And there's no politician that tries to educate them constantly on the basis of what the law is and what's going on and how things are in their favor. Because an educated electorate is very powerful and dangerous to a politician, good ones as well as bad ones. And I want to thank you and the people that you're bringing on to help educate the people, the public, because it's our money, it's our life, and they don't seem to know that. And the reason we all can say they don't seem to know that, because look at the voting record. And I'll just kind of close it and leave it with this. Maya Angelou says, pay attention to the people and watch what they do. They show you who they are. And Bernie Mac says, who you following? Who's your leader? Where you get your information from? So I want to thank you for doing a great job, Cleopatra, that's getting the information out there and help educate the people to make a wise decision for the best covering of their rear end.
No, I appreciate that, Mike. What do you say to that, Camille?
I say thank you. I believe that we deserve our flowers in this work, right? When I do this work, I think of Fannie Lou. I think of the fearless freedom fighters that, like I said, sowed the seeds. They walked so we can, or they ran so we could walk. So thank you. I received that, and we're hoping you can join us in our efforts in election protection. We fielded over 56,000 volunteers during the 2024 general election cycle. So we're hoping to match those numbers and get some calls into the hotline.
Please share the hotline for those that are listening. Would love to get involved and check their registration and everything else your org has to offer.
Absolutely. So you can call 866-OUR-VOTE. That is 866-OUR-VOTE. That is a national nonpartisan hotline ready and equipped for any voter needs, for any information or assistance at any stage of voting. We also have this hotline available in Spanish, Arabic, and Asian languages as well.
No, I appreciate it. Well, listen, this won't be the last time. I'll have you back right before we get into the heat and the thick of early vote. So stand by for that, okay?
Okay, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let's talk to Al. Al, welcome to WVON.
Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi barakatuh. Peace and blessings to you, sister. How are you?
I'm in high spirits, brother. How are you?
Well, considering I'm doing fantastic with intentions on improving, and I thank you for asking.
Absolutely.
What I wanted to say is that the American government is so deep in debt to the ex-slaves and the descendants, well, not the descendants, but the inheritors of the ex-slaves. That the government should give us 75% of the gold in Fort Knox. We should also receive up to 65% of the property in each southern state. That's how I feel about the reparations. We should also get, along with that, free education. What do you think?
I'm with you. I think there's a laundry list, and I appreciate your call. I think there's a laundry list of us expanding our horizon in terms of our understanding of what are the entitlements. All I talked about was the financial attribute, but the entitlements, absolutely. As I was watching a documentary about Abraham Lincoln, maybe it's just me, but I hadn't even given thought to the audacity of the Confederate soldiers and the Confederate air quote leaders that took enslaved Africans alongside them to keep their bed warm, to turn their coal, to serve at the ready of them. So absolutely the entitlements and then some. I think the comprehensive understanding that you are deserving, and it is more than enough for the atonement. Because the bottom line is, if you keep kicking the can down the road, the tab only grows. But that don't mean that you don't pay your debt. You're just going to pay it with compound interest. Right on, brother. Good call. When we come back, Tommy, I see you. I do have a special guest, and I'm going to give a special tribute. I got a birthday tribute, but I'll save it for the end of the show. You don't want to miss this.
Cooler and cloudy. Temperatures topping out in the upper 70s. Good morning. I'm in Illinois, and here's what's happening. The Illinois Federation of Teachers is suing the office of Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas over late property tax bills in Illinois. Because of the late filing by Tyler Technologies, the company hired to modernize the county's property tax system, agencies such as CPS would be forced to borrow to make ends meet, as they already face a $732 million budget gap. The suit was filed yesterday on behalf of around 50,000 Cook County members of the ITF, including the Chicago Teachers Union and union members across the suburbs. Meanwhile, Pappas has not yet responded to the lawsuit, but did say that she plans to send the Chicago Public Schools a chunk of money this week. District officials have said they need $85 million to avoid implementing furlough days. Well, today is an important day for those running for mayor of Chicago and other citywide offices. It is the first day for candidates to collect signatures for their petitions to get on the ballot. Election day is February 23rd. Starting today, you'll see campaign workers with clipboards outside grocery stores and L stops asking for your signature. Candidates also running for alderman, city clerk, and city treasurer. Now, the mayor's race for candidates, those candidates will need 12,500 signatures. Now, only one person can sign one petition. First-time candidates for mayor will likely have to have more signatures in case they meet challenges. Meanwhile, Mayor Brandon Johnson has yet to announce whether he'll seek a second term. Perry Williams has more.
Mayor Brandon Johnson has not officially declared that he's running again, and he was recently questioned about that by the media.
Keep in mind, I did not make an announcement until October of 2022.
So October maybe is when you're going to make it?
I'm just saying that right now I'm focused on building safe and affordable communities, and we're going to count on the city of Chicago to help us continue to build that.
So far, 8 people have announced that they have entered the race. The election is set for February 23rd. I'm Perry Williams.
Also, Secretary of State Alexi Janulis is expected to announce whether he'll run or not for mayor. Well, Cook County State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke wants people who commit crimes on CTA to know that they will do jail time. She wants that message to be so clear that she's kicking off a public service campaign on buses and trains. O'Neill Burke says her office has approved felony charges in 483 CTA-related crime cases since taking office 2 years ago. She also says that violent crime along the transit system is down by 30% since the first of the year. Well, that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVO News Time, 11:34.
The OEMC app sends alerts, safety information, and weather updates straight to your phone. Smart, fast, and stress-free. Download the OEMC app before Lollapalooza starts and enjoy the festival with confidence of feeling safe.
3 days, 3 phenomenal women, award-winning commentator Joy Reid, and the ultimate it girl Keke Palmer, and gospel's best Leandria Johnson, only at the Black Women's Expo, Friday, July 31st through Sunday, August 2nd at McCormick Place. Plus, live entertainment from the main stage featuring American Idol's Keela Richardson and the Los Angeles-based duo Shakespeare blending R&B, soul and pop, a house music party with DJ Celeste Alexander, and much more. Community, beauty, wellness, food, family fun, powerful conversations, and shopping all in one place. Half price adult tickets at all Walgreens locations. Sponsored by University of Chicago Medicine, Humana, City Colleges of Chicago, Rush University Medical Center, and Vive Healthcare. Check out the lineup at www.bwenext.com for more details.
It's the afternoon show.
You got to remember, when we do it, it's called flued out.
We flew him.
Girl, he flew me out.
Oh, my. Don't, why are you putting my people down?
No, I'm just telling you, that's what we call it. That's what it is.
Out. You've had this conversation with someone.
I flew people out.
You flew people? I mean, flown people out? Now you got me saying. If somebody telling me you flew me out, no, I'm not flying you nowhere after you just said that. I'm not.
He said I was about to until you said that.
Right.
The afternoon show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by ComEd, powering lives. Here's a great savings idea. Did you know you've got the power to manage your energy? Yep, from usage alerts to energy saving programs and more. ComEd has all kinds of ideas to help you gain control over your energy saving costs. Find out more at ComEd.com/energy savings.
WVON traffic and weather now.
So if you're wondering why Michigan Avenue and DuSable Lakeshore Drive are packed right along Grant Park, that's due to street closures. as crews right now are setting up for Lollapalooza. So as you make your way along Balboa, Columbus Drive, Jackson, Ida B. Wells, and Congress Plaza Drive that run through Grant Park, those streets are shut down in both directions. Taking a look at our weather, cloudy conditions today and cooler. The National Weather Service says we're going to top out right around 79 and then go back down to around 67 tonight. But temperatures are climbing through the 70s. We're up to 73 at Midway. It's 73 in Olympia Fields and it's 73 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
What kind of a book is it?
It's a love story.
I like love stories.
Me too.
Hey, I'm Noah. I'm Allie.
I love you, Allie. I loved you then, and I love you now.
And we are back. The time is 11:38, and I have a superstar on the show. She joins me via StreamYard, and she has graced the major stage since the tender age of 3. So I already find her to be very fascinating. And if you recognize a little bit of it, it is a love story of all time. One of my favorite books, films, and I can't wait to see the production. I'm talking about The Notebook. It's going to be at the James M. Niederlander Theater between August 4th and the 16th. It is the best-selling novel that inspired the iconic film, one of which I deeply love. And on the live line via StreamYard, she plays Allie. And she plays the demented version of Allie when she's aged. And yet and still, she looks amazing on the screen as is. And her name is Shannon Catherine Brown. Welcome to the Cleopatra Show.
Hi. Sharon.
Welcome to the Cleopatra Show.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed listening to the story right before. That's some pivot.
Oh, yeah. That, the show is rooted in culture, arts, and politics. So it's always interwove with all kinds of highs and lows, but yet and still the tender age of 3.
3.5. I started business at 3.5. I made my Broadway debut at 5. I'm what is known as a Broadway legend. My dad, Good Times. Bookman on Good. Was
so
a
we're having some audio issues. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause.
Okay.
I'm gonna have you call in. Don't worry, we'll have you call in because we want to make sure that I can hear you. So they're gonna message you the number right now. So look at your screen, and I'm gonna make a quick pivot while we get it together because her story is so deserving, guys,
all right.
and I want you all to support her because I will be at this production. You ever had a film that you just test your boo thing about? Me and my husband been together almost 12 years. Between The Notebook, don't judge me, you all. Man, I'm trying to think. He tested me with Star Wars. I tested him again with Alex Haley, The Roots. He had already seen it. So I was like, okay, cool. But The Notebook, I could literally watch every day. And then I tested him for, you going to build me a house? He looked at me like I'm crazy. Right? Like, but he built her a house. Bottom line is you just have some films that are just love stories. Then don't make me talk about and testify to Billy D. Williams. Amen. Hallelujah. Okay, I can tell you some films of Billy D. Williams. So I just, there's some iconic movies and books that are just, you gotta see, right? So as our star is getting ready to call in, I want to share with you all this Wednesday on the afternoon show, Rufus Williams, myself, Cleopatra Draper, and Matt McGill, and LaDonna Ray are going to come together for a special WVON roundtable. That's it. The four of us, the host of our respective shows with four perspectives and one table to discuss crime, politics, schools, the economy, race, leadership, accountability. No scripts, no filters, no safe answers. That's going to be interesting. Don't miss the conversation everybody will be talking about this Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. on the afternoon show, only on WVON. Of course, Talk of Chicago. I can't wait to talk it out with them, see what they buzzing about, what's been going on their shows. Because, when I start talking about how summer school is cool, everybody show up to my show and classes in session. So I think as our guest is preparing to join us, I look forward to having the continued conversation with Sharon. So Sharon, welcome back to the Cleopatra Show.
Hello.
Oh, there it is. You sound amazing. There it is. Look at that voice. So 3.5 years old, you are on the stage. How did you get to Broadway?
Okay, so I made my Broadway debut at 5 in a show called Maggie Flynn with Shirley Jones and the late Jack Cassidy. And I was the youngest of the children, along with Stephanie Mills and Irene Cara and Giancarlo Esposito. We were all these New York kids, and I was the baby of the group. But I had started before then with print work. And as I said, I am a double Broadway legacy baby. My mother, June Brown, was on Broadway with her mother. She was a little girl on Broadway with my grandmother, who was one of the chorus dancers. My dad, Johnny Brown, was Sammy Davis Jr.'s protege. He made his Broadway debut in Golden Boy, and then later in Carry Me Back to Morningside Heights, that was directed by Sidney Poitier. He's known on television as Mr. Bookman in Good Times. My cousin, the late Paula Kelly, who's known for being the black female dancer and featured actress in Sweet Charity, the movie. She was famously on Broadway. Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope. And so I'm in the family business, fortunately.
I love that for you. I'm inspired by that for a lot of reasons. I just think it's so special when folks are able to answer the assignment. So you've been in the business practically all of your life. Now talk to me about this amazing opportunity to land this iconic role in The Notebook.
Well, I was on Broadway in Days of Wine and Roses at the time, and Michael Greif, who is the co-director of the Notebook, we go way back because he directed me in Rent, and we've worked together 4 times. At the time, he was directing 3 shows at once: Days of Wine and Roses, Hell's Kitchen, and The Notebook. On our day off, which happened to be one of the previews for The Notebook, I saw the show, cried the ugly cry. And, I said the best compliment that I can give you is that I will never see this show again because I don't want to cry like that. And I always say, Michael's got jokes. He's like, bet, so I'll star you in it. So the next year they were casting the tour and had the audition and got the role. And I was like, ooh, I haven't been on tour in 26 years because I stopped touring because I love to work at home. And touring is hard. So I was like, okay, here I go again. I said never, but here I am. So
what makes it hard? What's the challenges of touring?
The reason when I was Lucy in Jekyll and Hyde on tour, first Black woman ever to play that role, ever in any incarnation of it. And at that point in my life, I had been on tour and Broadway for many years. And I knew I was getting married. I knew I wanted to have a family. What makes touring hard for me is not anybody else's experience. Everybody's experience is difficult. I really would get too homesick. I would feel too scattered. I didn't like being away from my family. I didn't like, not sleeping in my bed every night. It's something that I did, and I did 8 years of my life in a row, nonstop. And it's something that I decided I no longer wanted to do. And so, like I said, Jekyll and Hyde 26 years ago was my swan song. So I thought on tour, and then here comes The Notebook, and it was sort of one of those things for me that I was like, I trust you, God. I know that I am supposed to do this, even though this is really a hard yes to give. I love Michael Greif so much, and I would choose to work with him on every single project ever. That's how much I love working with him. And Kevin McCollum, our lead producer, I again, since Rent, we just go back. It's a familiar, wonderful working space for me. This role, I am younger than the original person who created the role on Broadway. So really, without someone who knows my ability as an actress, I wouldn't have been cast as older Allie. And that's what I love the most about this whole situation, is that this is not a role that people would have just automatically seen me in, even though I can do it. So this has been wonderful. I am ending my tour in Chicago. I've been on tour a year. I'm ending my contract. I love Chicago to my heart. I've done several shows here where I've had the lead, and so it's such an honor. The Notebook musical started in Chicago, and so to be able to end my contract here is just a huge honor.
Well, hold tight, because you're talking about how you love Chicago, and we are excited for you, and I want you, when we return, to expound upon why folks need to come and support you, because the birth of The Notebook was right here, as you expounded upon already. But I need for folks to understand why they need to come see you, because I am personally going to come and check you out, because I believe that, a person that has given so much throughout her entire life is something special to just to have in a book to say, I've seen you. And then your lineage. Everybody can connect to one of them cousins and loved ones you just named. And I think that is even more reason to come and show you some love. And listen, guys, you're going to want to check this out. The Notebook, it is debuting right here at the James M. Niederlander Theater, August 4th through the 16th. And Sharon is on the live line, and she's playing the iconic role of Allie. I am so excited for her. You ought to be too. More when we return.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
WVON is more than a radio station. We're your connection to Black America. That means we're everywhere. On Facebook at WVON, on Instagram at WVON, and on the WVON app. WVON is everywhere.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And we are back. The time is 11:52, and Sharon Catherine Brown is a superstar. Been on the stage since the tender age of 3.5, and she is coming to Chicago yet once again. And the birthplace of the Notebook on Broadway is here, and she's closing out her contract here. So Chicagoans, I'm encouraging you to come support this sister. I'm sure she is going to be phenomenal. I'm going to be clapping and throwing roses. I look forward to it. So tell the listening audience just one of the many scenes that blew you away, because you was crying like a baby when you saw it. So give us something that you are going to earmark for us to look out for.
You mean in the show?
Absolutely.
I will say.
Spill a little tea, just a little bit. Give us a teaser.
Well, I'm gonna spill a little tea, but I want to set up Chicago. I need to say something about Chicago and why this is so special and so important to me. I love Chicago, period, and I spent so much time in Wonder. I used to live at 1260 North Dearborn because I was doing the Wiz here. I was the youngest person ever to play the role of Dorothy. I was with my mom, and my family would fly out, and the African community, the African American community. I'm a black woman. I'm a black woman playing older Allie, who the character in our show is of mixed heritage. I am not, but I'm playing older Allie, and there are two other actresses playing them at different ages, and all of the Noahs are white. Many times I've been to Chicago as the only or first African American woman to do a particular role. As I said, first African American woman to play Lucy, first African American woman to be the narrator in Joseph. And this is the same for older Allie. The support that I have always received from the community, from our community here, the way they come out for me and for the shows that I'm in, it fills my heart with I get very emotional. I really do love Chicago. I have received so much of it. Even in how you just set up this section, it really fills me. It humbles me. It honors me. It's very, very important. This role, I was told by a young black man that it meant so much to me. He said he loved this show so much, but what meant the most to him was seeing a black woman so loved and cherished in a story.
I appreciate that. Yep.
That I appreciated that. To see that from a male point of view and from a black man's point of view, and for him to be young, he's a young man. It meant everything to me. I feel that deeply, and all ages and all races are loving our version of the Notebook. They are loving it and supporting it and rooting for Noah and Allie from the time they're teenagers to the time they're older Allie and older Noah. And I think that's very important to put out there and to say. It's the humanity of it. It's the love story. It's necessary to say that because this is an interesting time.
They are. So with that being said, I will continue to raise awareness. And I just, you're right. Spill a little tea. Older Allie, what scene do you cherish most of your character?
I go through it as one scene. as an actress, it's not chopped up in the way it seems like it. I'm really loving the journey and we have this saying, because it's a difficult role. It's extremely difficult because I'm on stage all the time and I'm in it all the time, because the notebook is her memory. It's what she wrote before her memory was completely gone. And so it changes from performance to performance for me because I'm in it authentically. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
I don't try to make a particular thing happen 8 shows a week, because that's not authentic to me. And it is very, very important, because so many people in our country are going through this in real life, to honor that with authenticity and to really be in it and to live it. And so that is a part of my answer. And the other part of my answer, as an actress, is not really for me to say if I have a favorite moment or that has happened. That belongs to the audience. And
Excellent,
I will keep
excellent.
that sacred.
No, I just, there are some moments where, I've had a number of characters on and a number of shows on when they say, hey, when you see this scene, so you say all the scenes. I love it. That's fine.
I do. I say lock in, and I will say you will. There's more laughter than people expect. I think that's important. It's like life. It's like life. There's more. You laugh more than you expect to in treacherous situations or in difficult situations. But lock in, prepare to be taken on the journey. And you will find that paying attention and locking in, it's going to give everybody a very authentic, genuine, wonderful experience in the theater.
Well, I appreciate you stopping by. I look forward to you making your debut here in Chicago yet once again for The Notebook. It is going to be at the James M. Niederlander Theater. That's right, August 4th through the 16th. And you heard the star. That's right, she's playing the older version of Allie. And I look forward to her grace in the stage. And that's Sharon Catherine Brown. Thank you so much for stopping by the Cleopatra Show. And I look forward to seeing you.
This has been wonderful.
Absolutely.
And you're wonderful. You are wonderful. And I really appreciate how you conduct your show so much. I just want to thank you.
No, thank you. And I look forward to giving you some roses, guys. I want you all to join me. Check this sister out. The Notebook. If you cried, you're going to laugh. And she done warned us it'll be a lot of laughter, but there it is. So, guys, before I get out of here, I was telling you play that song for me because I know my mama is listening. So today, we got to learn how to pay homage to ancestors. So today is my mother's heavenly birthday. Mama would have been 102 years old. And I just want to say happy birthday. And then for those that are living, today is also my brother-in-law's birthday, Jason Draper. So yes, I'm married to one of them Draper boys. But if you know Jason, send him some love. He is going with his little brother to the White Sox game. And, I just wear socks. We some Cubby Bears. But there it is. So happy birthday to my grandmother, my mother's mother, all the way to the heavens. And happy birthday to my brother-in-law, Jason Draper. May God continue to bless and protect you along the way. And for you all, Tommy, I'm sorry I couldn't take your call. The chat has been up like a crescendo. Summer school is definitely cool, guys. I thank you all for being in session. Now, tomorrow it is Fired Up Wednesday. And I want to thank you, Matt, for that. And we are coming in with some piping hot tea. Tomorrow, Lord willing, it'll be 97 days to the midterms. And we'll see what transpires. 152 days of Trump's war. And we're coming to class fired up. I'm flipping over tables. Now, tonight I expect for you all to show up for the shorties, right? You hear the promo. Hyde Park Youth has commanded our attention. I will be at 6400 South Kimbark tonight, 5:30. I've asked you all to pull up at 5:15. Talk to these young bloods. Help and support them. Now, all they want is their peace room, and they're saying it's more than a room. And I agree. And I'll have one of the youth in with me tomorrow. We'll do a post facto. We're going to wrap up about the show. But I'm going to pull up. I want you all to pull up with me. That's right. Show up for the young folks at Hyde Park Academy. They're asking for adult support. And I will be that big old age adult in the audience supporting these young bloods. All right, more tomorrow at 9 a.m. only on The Cleopatra Show.
I hope you're making the best of this grand and glorious day. I'm Kayla Patton, and in the headlines, the 2027 Chicago candidates for mayor may begin circulating petitions today. Cleanup is underway after severe weather hit the Chicago area yesterday. And get ready to celebrate 31 years of Sisterhood Chicago with the Black Women's Expo from July 31st to August 2nd. The Black Information Network is next on Chicago's original social media platform, 1690